with all the news from WTCN TV's expanded news gathering facility.
WTCN TV, Channel 11.
This is KARE 11 News at 10.
This is Chick, my nephew, the pilot.
In Crystal, Molly Horn began the day knowing her nephew Chick Burlingame would be somewhere flying an American Airlines jet. And in Woodbury, Kathleen Wallace knew her husband Scott had a business meeting inside the World Trade Center.
I knew right away that he was there. I was not sure what time his meetings were. I knew he was in that building and that's where he was going to be.
When the news first broke, Kathleen's 13-year-old daughter assumed the worst.
And she looked at me and said, "That's where Dad is." And I said, "Oh, honey, this isn't that big of a deal. I'm sure it's just some small little office."
They don't want to let go of.
But Kathleen knew from what she was seeing on TV that she had good reason to fear for Scott's life.
Up to that point, I thought, watching the pictures on TV, there's no way. There's no way that people are going to survive this.
With news that American Flight 77 had crashed into the Pentagon, Molly Horn began to worry more about nephew Chick, who's based in Virginia. She remembered the last time that her brother Charles, Chick's father, flew with him.
He took his father on a flight to California and announced over the speaker that this is your captain, and I want to tell you that you'll get to California safely because my father's on this flight.
But not this flight. Soon Molly learned her nephew Chick was in the cockpit of the jet that struck the Pentagon.
And it just tore me apart. I just couldn't believe that when I found out that he was killed and he was piloting the plane and it was hijacked.
Back in Woodbury, after 90 minutes of
I'm not
waiting,
sure.
Kathleen got a collect call from a payphone in New York. Scott was on the line.
When I heard a collect call from him, we both cried. He cried and I cried for the first 5 minutes, and then he said, "Hurry up, I don't have much time on his phone. I'm okay. I'm okay. I'm okay."
Scott had been on the 63rd floor of the first tower.
All of a sudden, the building rocked. I'm going to say it was 10 to 15 feet, but I thought the building was going to tip over.
He fought a smoky stairwell for 45 minutes.
The stairwell filled up with a lot of real acidic kind of smoke, and you couldn't see because your eyes were watering so bad, and you couldn't breathe for about 10 floors.
A day of not knowing who lived and who died, of not knowing who to blame. It's that ambiguity, says U of M professor Pauline Boss, that's the real power of terrorism.
The assumption of safety is gone.
In her book, Ambiguous Loss, she argues the scariest part of any disaster is not having all the answers.
First of all, we don't know who the enemy is. We don't know where they are. We don't know if the next time we're in an airport, we're passing them.